Hello, my loop friends. Welcome back to Live Loopers. I'm Alex.
Hey, Big Looper! What's going on?
Today's an awesome day on Live Loopers because we are talking about none other than Koala Sampler, a fan favorite for people who like making beats and doing the drum things and the boom, da boom, da boom. Ah yes, Koala Sampler, beloved by producers and finger drummers and percussionists and all kinds of people who love making music on iDevices and, using apps to do the ba-doom-ba-doom-ba-doom-ba-doom. It has gained undeniably tons and tons of traction, has a huge user base now, and lots of people love it. Loopers, like myself, we love it too. People have not seen me using it so much, and I have gotten some questions of like, hey, what do you think about the Koala Sampler? So today I'm going to talk all about it. I love Koala Sampler. I make the vast majority of my samples these days. I just, pop on my iPad, make samples. It's so quick and easy for that. I have not used it as a performance surface so much, so people have not seen me using it in my videos very often, and that is mainly for three reasons. There are three impediments or obstacles or stumbling blocks that have sort of kept me from using Koala as much as I otherwise would. But over time, I have come to discover that all three of those obstacles need not really even be obstacles. Let's talk about it. First thing that I would like to talk about, and I have talked about it here before on Live Loopers, is just the price, and I don't really want to rehash all of that, but the price is the price.
Not to be vague, that is the price.
And the price actually makes sense, I have come to realize, for Koala Sampler. I mean, I talk about how I like the price structure for Loopy Pro, and Loopy Pro's price structure is right for Loopy Pro, and I have come over time to discover that Koala Sampler's pricing structure is right for Koala Sampler, because it is available on iOS and Android, and so it doesn't make sense to be making Android people pay for extra features that are only on one and not the other, and all this stuff. And it just also, Koala Sampler is just different. It's divided into some pieces, and you just buy the pieces that you need, and you don't have to buy the pieces that you don't need, and it works out, and it's fine, and it's not a problem. I was kind of irritated at first to find out that you buy Koala Sampler and it just doesn't even have AUV support. You had to pay extra to get AUV support, and I think that is no longer even an issue anymore. I do believe that they have changed that, and now Koala Sampler just has AUV support right out the box. Great news. My number 2 issue with using Koala Sampler as my performance surface, the thing that kept me mostly from using it for probably more than a year, was that when you go to touch the pads, if you press and slide even just the least little bit, it is thinking that you want to swap samples and exchange samples, and it gives you this little menu, and that little menu was super frustrating and irritating to me.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Get the hell off of me!
Hey!
I was like, how can anybody use this? So finally, I went to the Koala user community with lots of kind, friendly, helpful people, and said, is this a problem for anybody else? And the kind people there were kind enough to explain to me, old man, one thing that you should know is that you are trying to use the performance surface while you are in the edit screen. And there's 3 different screens. There's the edit, and there's the sequencer, and there's the effects. And if you want to use it as a performance surface, they have a nice little sequencer section, and you just tap on over to that middle thing there, and then that will not happen to you anymore. And that is true. It has not happened to me anymore. Now that I know the secret, that you just need to not be in edit mode. Like, it kind of makes perfect sense. Like, when you're editing your samples, you want to be able to have a way to swap things around, but then when you want to perform, there's like a different mode, and you just go into that one and you don't try and do it in edit mode, and then you'll be fine. And what's more is that once you get into that performance mode, not only is it so nice that you don't get those accidental slides anymore, but now you can actually have slidey drums, which I absolutely love. By that, I mean that, like, you can start your finger in one square and then slide to other squares and they will sound. And so that's just really, really helpful. I love slidey drums. Problem solved. My problem number 3 with using the Koala Sampler, which is the only one that is still a little bit of a problem, but I have figured out a workaround, is that keeping pads straight, like what is on which pad.
I can't do it.
Now, yes, I do get it. There are plenty of NPCists who can get very good at remembering what's on what pad with, like, no visual information, no hints at all. Like, they just see 16 pads and you just have to get used to it and remember that this is on this pad and this is on this pad. Like, there are lots of NPCs that just didn't even have the light up color pads, like nothing, no hints at all. And so Koala Sampler, where it has the little waveform on each pad, is a huge improvement on that. I mean, that gives you some kind of indication. It's got some visual information. You can sort of see, like, you can see the difference between a drum waveform and some vocal waveform and that kind of thing. Now, to help you out even more, they have added labels, which means that you can go in this little edit thing here and you can type a word or two and put that on your pad. Be a big help. Except that in Koala Sampler, they have white writing on cyan background, like really, really light blue, like white on light blue. For nearsighted, or let's just even call me blind, for like blind people like myself, that ain't helping.
Nobody can read this.
I mean, really, you might as well just not even have labels. Cause, I can't read this.
This is barely legible and will have to be written again.
But I am glad to report that in recent times, I have discovered that there is a workaround for that as well, which is Loopy Pro lets you make some really nice, very legible, color-coded, all kinds of visual hints as to what pad is what. Like, look at some surfaces like this. Ooh, and like this. A pad masher's dream of, like, in terms of knowing what's where. Now you can make a surface like this, and then you can just assign MIDI codes so that when you press this in Loopy Pro, it will mash a pad over in Koala Sampler. Why would somebody do that? Because different software, like Koala versus Loopy Pro, have different rendering engines rendering the audio. And so if you make a sample in Koala Sampler, which I do, as I said, all the time, it sounds better, or it sounds truer to what you were trying to create if you play it back in Koala. Like, if you make it in Koala and then you play it in Loopy Pro, it might sound a little different, like little differences. And so I don't like those little differences. I would much rather be able to play it in Koala, but I can't see what I'm doing. So I found that, like, perhaps the best both worlds would be to make these little surfaces in Loopy Pro and then have them trigger the samples back in Koala. To be completely 100% honest with you, I have not been so motivated that I have actually done that yet, but I think that the sound difference is enough that I actually will at some point. But again, as I say, even then, then you won't see me using Koala. I will just actually be using Koala, but I will, all you will see is just my really nice, helpful Loopy Pro screens, and then it will be triggering the really, really nice sounds that come out of Koala. So, with all that said, now I find that I probably will be using Koala even more into the future. It is wonderful software. It has a wonderful user community. You can see people every single day just making the coolest music. And Koala Sampler actually has its own built-in looper. It's like a sequencer looper, so it's really, really tightly quantized. It's not as far as I know, it's not really full-featured looper like Loopy Pro, which is why I would use Koala inside a Loopy Pro rather than just using the sequencer thing in Koala to begin with. But plenty of people just use Koala and nothing else and make really, really awesome music every single day. You can go on the Facebook page for Koala Sampler and just see hit after hit after hit of just quality music made with Koala. It's great, and definitely if you put the two of them together, use Koala inside your looper, you got the best of both worlds. Loving it. If this video helped you at all, it would be awesome if you could leave a like. And if you like talking about looping things, then you can join the 1,300 people that as of July 2023 are subscribed up on here, which may not sound a lot, to all you people that are used to seeing YouTube channels that have, whatever many subscribers. But for me, man, that's wow, how did we get there? But we're here, and that's awesome. Thank you for subscribing if you have subscribed, and loop on! Loop on!